when I come into these medicines, and I'll just say like ayahuasca, for example, what a great medicine to go inside and to go navigate those traumas and pull those traumas out. However it does that, it's just a blessing. And, that's where all your traumas sit, like you said. I mean, our container is just full of traumas, and to relieve those, we have to revisit these. And, I think there's all of these medicines out there, but for some reason, psilocybin really seems to connect us all. You know what I mean? It connects your gut to your brain. It just seems to have that great connection.
Yeah, I call it the great connector.
Yeah. Yeah, it truly is the great connector, because what it does is it activates. It can take, so look at it this way, like a neural pathway in the neuroscience world, when a neural pathway shuts off at 90% and there's only 10% of it functioning, they consider it dead. Psilocybin has been scientifically proven to reactivate those styles of neural pathways.
Absolutely.
So what it does is it shifts someone, not just mentally, but also within the body, out of this pattern, this frozen pattern of fight or flight or trauma, and actually starts to activate these neural pathways that provide thriving, that provide being able to look outside of the box, that have kept them there in the beta of the brain, which is the fight and flight.
Now, most of the times nowadays in this generation, we are going to pharmaceutical drugs for the antidepressants to relieve all these traumas, which these aren't doing absolutely nothing for us.
To relieve the symptoms.
Yeah, symptoms. So when the biggest thing when we're on this psilocybin and when somebody wants to jump on this journey, those receptors are blocked because of these antidepressants. Can you explain maybe how you think that works, or why that works that way, and navigate us through that?
Yeah, so just before I go there, I'm not a doctor.
Nope, absolutely
I have
not.
done research. I do have the opportunity, and I have been working with a close friend around psilocybin and research. I'm actually heading the very first of its kind research with Tepes Quejite, which is the Maya smoke medicine we'll talk about here shortly.
For sure.
So what happens in Western medicine, traditional Western medicine was created to be able to break up any type of chronic condition within a 24-hour frame. And though what has happened over time is because of the chemicals that that they actually put into the medication, you create more contraindications with it, right? So it kind of what it does when it attaches to the receptors, your serotonin receptors, dopamine receptors are all there to give you the grandiose experience of all these emotions. And so when someone has severe depression or complex trauma, PTSD, what happens is it's multifaceted. Western medicine is just focusing on one aspect of it, is that we're just this physical being with this brain. We're so much more than that. So in shamanism and traditional lineages of North and South America, we have our spiritual body, which is our first and most important body. Then it goes into the mental body. Then that goes into the the emotional, and then the physical. And so in shamanism, we get taught that there's spirit fragmentation. When someone has got depression, anxiety, it's because there's a spirit fragmentation. And what they mean by that is we're light beings. That is our natural state. We're of love. Things are meant to be blissful, but we chose to be on these planets to experience contrast, to be human. Right? And sometimes that contrast is painful. And so they believe that a part of the spirit actually fragments or goes offline, which then you can actually see in the brain where there's actual neural pathways that shut off. And then that forms into emotional instabilities. And emotional instabilities means that you're not capable of being able to function through depression, that these moments that would an everyday person might be able to function through, they can't, because there's parts of themselves as a whole that is fragmented. And so Western medicine only accesses one portion of a whole. And so going in and having antidepressants or something of that sort only suppresses it, band-aids really what's going on. And so the way that I work, which is why integration is huge, especially when working with plant medicines, is we're going to go and we're going to talk to your spirit. We're going to bring you back online. We're going to look at the mental, the emotional, the physical, the spiritual aspects of yourself that have you dysregulated. And plant medicine is just a tool. You have to be willing to do the work outside of that. The plant medicine is only going to guide you to where you're ready, or sometimes it will guide you to the areas that you may not want to go, but with the proper coaching and proper integration, you'll be able to walk through it so easily.